Well, we are back at the new site from a couple videos ago where I dug all the buttons in that beautiful Massachusetts state copper. Now that I know where the hell I am out here and the cellar hole is behind me and I have a better understanding of the layout, I want to look around out a bit. Meaning the cellar hole is a couple 100 feet up that way, but there's plenty of rock walls. This is actually really nice. It may have been groomed at one point in time, cultivated, but it's flooded out there now. See that kind of open space? It's all water. But up here by the wall, in the corner, because there's another wall behind me, it's pretty nice. And being that nobody else has detected here, it's going to take some time, many trips, looking around, scanning the outskirts, going back to the cellar hole, which unfortunately is so overgrown it's difficult. But either way, this is where I'm going to start. Just make it up as we go. Well, I didn't move very far and didn't take very long. I'm only in the first square away from the house. These more towards the colonial side of things, sites. The squares are very small, like acres inside of massive squares. There we go. We got our button. Mission accomplished. Wow, it's a small one. Nice. Very nice. So, good start, real quick. But we'll see how it goes. So I'm just hugging the walls. Another one. The other reason for hugging the walls, aside from, you know, that's a clear sign of activity, I looked at the old aerial photo of the area, and I had mentioned they logged in here. Well, the 1938 photo, they were logging in here. You could actually see spots where they were cutting and the routes they were taking in and out. So with that, it's a mess still. There we go. Big 1700 standy button. Beautiful. With shank. And if you missed my first two visits out here, this is what I'm dealing with. The thick vegetation, rhododendron hell. There was a lot of stuff in there, but it's just brutal trying to find it. We'll keep working it because there's no other option, but that is the main square behind the house, and that is one of the ones that I saw logged. Another button. Different. Good. This one's just a bit of the ways down the hill from the wall. Pile of field stones, they were shoving this way. Right on the other side. Happens a lot. You gotta figure all that movement, things will be dropped. Well, it's a bit later. There's a signal. I just kept following one of the walls, you know, kind of getting lost in what I was doing, and it led me to this square, which is different. It's a lot different than, I don't know, the half a mile back we just were. Wonder what's going on in here. Well, it's the first shotgun Willie in this entirety. But this is definitely different. And I was walking for so long, I was like, do I go back? Just keep going and see what's out there. We've kind of made our way closer to where there's an old proper road. I'm just kind of in the middle now. I don't know. It's what we do. I could have just stayed where we were, but look at this. Look at the size of this wall. And again, as soon as I popped in and spotted this, I was like, wow. That's a worked piece of land. Surprising after so much terrible woods we went through. This is actually really nice. You just never know what you're going to spot out here. Oh, beautiful. Wow. Glad we took the walk. Look at that escutcheon. Fantastic. Out in the middle of nothing, nowhere, against the wall. Jeez. That's a lucky break. It seriously makes you wonder how and why things like that ended up out where they did. Again, as far as I just came away from the Colonial we were working to the next one that I know about, we are in the middle of nothing. Old fields, pastures, and yet somehow their draw pole escutcheon ended up out here against the wall. Well, let's see what else beside the wall has in store for us. Roots. Man, that's a tough one. Huh. Well, that is different. And it's very thin, pressed out, stamped metal. Huh. What do you think, copper jacket? Nope, it's a rivet. And was barely even under the leaf cover. That's another old thing. Yep. Well, that's interesting. And later than what we were getting near the other cellar hole, harmonica reed. I think this square, this field here, was definitely in use later than the other one, or other ones. Like I said, we're kind of in between two sites at this point. And my assumption is this is from the other one. Good though. Well, I've just about walked myself out of this place, and you know, finding the relics is great, but it's, again, I've said it so many times, it's about being out here. So this is the square where we miraculously found that escutcheon plate up against the wall. And you know, as you go and you walk and you get from one square to the other, so here's a wall, look at that square. Terrible, overgrown, real thick. You get into this one, beautiful. And then we had the rhododendron situation out by the Colonial site, which was something else. It's like walking through different dimensions. It's crazy. You walk over through a wall, step in, boom. A whole different place. But I guess it depends on when it was last wide open, what was grown here, was it logged, you know, what state was it left in, say 100, 200 years ago, as to what makes it look like that, or that. Or, here's a shot I took walking in earlier. Beautiful wall, clearly defining the squares. But it was a good day. We explored and we found stuff. Alright, thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time.